Okay, so I'm going to show you the actual meaning of the word whiff. Okay, well, we have two meanings of the word whiff. One is to smell something, take a whiff of this, but really whiff is kind of like the sound, whiff, right? It sounds like take a whiff of air, like uh, take a whiff of this, right? Means to smell it, right? But there's another meaning that has to do with the sound, right? So uh, let's take a look at one other meaning. Now this is in golf or baseball.
Put Cogswell Cosmic Cogs out of business. Again? Well, what is it this time? You're gonna blow up the plant?
This is a TV show called The Jetsons. It was popular in the 1960s. I watched it, but it was in syndication when I watched it, so it was later, but it was really popular and influential on the culture of the U.S. Okay, that was a whiff, means a complete miss. He completely missed it. So when I was a kid, and and I would play like baseball with my brother, if I would completely miss it, he'd say whiff, right, and just like not be nice about it at all. He wanted to remind me that I completely missed, right? So anyway, uh, now, so whiff means to completely miss, but it can also mean like to completely fail, right? So let's take a look at that one. This is Ron DeSantis. He's well. Let's go back here. Let's get my face back up here. Ron DeSantis is in the same party as Donald Trump, and he's potentially going to run to be the president in 2024, which is, geez, next year, right? And so he has some good policies. He seems like a good guy to me. But so he's talking about, recently there was a big bank in California that went bankrupt. And we have government agencies that are supposed to protect us from that kind of thing. And they make a lot of money, and they're supposed to be, uh, keeping track of all these banks so that they're doing things the right way. But this one bank out in California, they didn't even have a risk, what is it, the risk advisor. Like they're supposed to have somebody like on their staff to manage like risk, and make sure everything is normal and not, everything should be stable. But this bank was focusing on what's called woke, which is, I guess, worrying about like having the correct number of each race, and having transgender people, and enough gays, and it was really focused on this kind of thing instead of focusing on the like making money and protecting the assets. But anyway, Ron DeSantis is talking about how we're paying all of these federal regulators huge money to keep an eye on this stuff, and they never seem to get it right. They like there's these big fails, and it's like, what are we paying these people for? Okay, so
the government this is supposed to be their job, and they always seem to whiff when it counts.
Well, let's talk.
This or Bernie Madoff, where you had warning signs, and yet the government this is supposed to be their job, and they always seem to whiff when it counts.
Well, let's talk about your leadership.
Okay, now
you
this-
wrote an entire book about the
So he's talking about the government is always completely failing. A whiff is like a complete fail. That guy happens to be a baseball player. So, or he used to be a baseball player. So when he talks, he uses a lot of baseball terminology, right? And so in baseball, we would say he completely whiffed it, right? And anyway, so whiff, right? I don't know if it's that commonly used, but I thought it was interesting, you know. So you could say like you could use it in a lot of different creative ways if you wanted to. So let's say, for example, if two guys are trying to get the girl, there's a pretty girl over there, right? And they're in like a bar or something like that, and they're talking to each other, and one guy says, "Well, I'm going to go talk to her," right? And then she's not interested, you know. So, you know, she expresses just that she's not interested, and so he comes back and he says, "Whiff. I whiffed. Completely whiffed means a complete fail, right?" So it could be in a lot of things, right? Like you're in a company, right, and you think your boss sends you to a place, right, and he thinks that it's possibly going to be a good customer, right, or like a good candidate to be a new customer, right? You're a sales person, you go there and you completely whiff it, right? They kick you out. They say, "No, we're not interested," and you just have to walk back out, and then you tell your boss, "No, it's a total whiff," right? And it could be used in that way. So anyway, if you like these videos, please like the video, comment, subscribe, and then there's always a link in the description about how you can donate to the channel. Okay, so I will talk to you on the next idiom.